source online. Weapons systems online. All functioning systems nominal.
Hello, good evening. Once again, welcome to the Amazing Life Show. I am A-MEZ-ING, and this is the talk show for photographers by photographers. So today we're going to have someone really special all the way from Switzerland. We're going to have Recher join us in the hot seat. As always, try to make yourself comfortable. This is the best time to actually start sharing the channel with your friends on all your social media. You can share it on your Facebook, you can share it on your Twitter, you can share it on Instagram and things like that. You may realize that my voice sounds a bit weird. I think it's because I'm kind of like a little bit under the weather because tomorrow is Hari Raya and my family is like rushing through things, and the past few days has been really challenging because I've not been sleeping well, been running around, doing groceries, last minute shopping. Even though it's a COVID-19 pandemic period, we are still trying to keep the spirits up by celebrating, and I myself would love to go out and visit other people, but because of the pandemic we are told to stay at home, and I think it's for the best. We just want to keep things safe and easy, especially for the frontliners who are working day and night trying to help everyone else who is currently suffering under this pandemic. So anyway, just want to give a little bit of a shout out to some folks who just joined in. We have Alex Chrysler, Spencer Tan, Sean Lu, Justin To, and Zig Nafi. Hi. Tomo Hitogo, Welix75 all the way from Argentina. Thank you so much for joining us. Wow, it's 6 a.m. there in Argentina right now, and he is here on Twitch. So right now, you guys might realize that I'll be talking to a group of people on one side and another group of people on the other side. That's because I'm actually streaming on both Facebook and on Twitch. Now, as I was saying yesterday, today is actually the last time I'm streaming live to Facebook. Sad. Alright, that's because I'm actually going to start streaming only on Twitch, alright? But I mean, it's just the way it is, alright? It's a lot better. I mean, on Twitch, you can actually stream and view the video at 1440p. Sorry about that. Wow, my voice just suddenly turned into like some 80s rock singer. Sorry. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll try my best. All right. And the worst part is I can't drink water, right? Because I'm trying to fast here. Yes. So right now, I just want to share with you guys that there's a few things that's happening to the channel. Like I said before, I'll be only streaming on Tuesdays and Saturdays. All right. So Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Singapore time, and on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Singapore time, like today. All right. I will not be streaming on Friday anymore because I just need that break. I don't know how those hardcore gamers do it, streaming every day, but for me, it's I need that period of time to rest and maybe do my other work, and this kind of things just need to happen. Salfa, hi, nice to see you. Wesley, good afternoon. Welcome, joining the channel in the afternoon with us today is of course Recher, and I'm pretty sure you guys are very excited to see him. But before that, I'm just gonna do a little bit of shoutouts for my own social media channels. So I'm just gonna get Jarvis to just link up my social media. Right, so this is my personal website. If you guys want to take a look and bookmark it, this is where you can actually see my work. I also have a link to my live stream here, so if you guys want, you can actually click on it, and then after that you'll be brought over to my Twitch channel. All right. At the same time, also I have my blog here. You guys can read my blog. All right, I do post up stuff over there, but I have to be very honest about this. I have not been updating my blog, so I'll start doing that when I have time. All right, the past few days, the past few weeks has been very hellish trying to get this live stream sorted out, trying to get the best guest speakers I can have on this channel, and making sure that you guys are entertained, informed, and we get to share wonderful knowledge for free. All right. Okay, so this is my Twitch channel. You can see that right now it's currently playing, so I'm just gonna scroll down real quick. Just want to share with you guys what's going on right now on the channel. On the Twitch channel, you can actually see a few things happening. You can see that there's actually a Razor Tip Stream channel over here, which I'll talk about in a bit. You can also see the schedule here, when's the next time I'm gonna go live stream, and you can also see a scoreboard here to see who is the #1 chatter in the channel. All right, so for those of you guys on Twitch, if you guys want to participate, chat as much as you can. I really hope that you guys will be more interactive because this is a live stream. I expect to see more interaction. I really hope to see more interaction. I mean, I really expect to see people asking questions because this is the best time to ask people like Recher questions. All right. Justin To says, with bad Wi-Fi during this period, even 1080 stream is choppy. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. So the reason why I actually want to switch over to Twitch is because Twitch actually allows me to change server. If I'm not multi-streaming to both Facebook and Twitch, I can actually multi-stream only if I set it to automatic. Alright, but if I switch to manual, I can actually choose the server where I am streaming out. And right now I hear that the Singapore node for Twitch is down, and it will be down until mid-June. So right now we're actually depending on Tokyo, and Tokyo server is just unstable. So if I were to switch over to Twitch only, I can change server to either Bangkok or Hong Kong, and those people who are more experienced in Twitch streaming, they say that these servers are a lot more stable for Singaporeans to stream to. So I hope you guys understand. I mean, it's not that I hate Facebook. It's just that Facebook is, you only can stream at 720p. I don't know why. They are stuck in 2015. So Yon A, thank you so much. Selamat Hari Raya in advance. Thank you so much. And to all our Muslim friends, I know tomorrow is Hari Raya. I really wish you all the best in these festivities. Do stay safe. But in the meantime, thank you for joining us on this channel, alright? Okay, so moving back to the Twitch panel. Right, so you can actually see some information on who is providing me with support and stuff like that. If you guys are interested to see what kind of rig I'm running right now for my live stream, because some folks have been asking me like, what do you have under your CPU hood that's able to live stream quite easily and do with 3 cams and all that. So I do list out the gear here, and if you guys have any questions, you can always just email me or drop me a message on Facebook and things like that. I'm more than happy to share whatever I know when it comes to live streaming, if it helps you with setting up your own. This is my Facebook page, alright, for those of you guys who are interested to see my works or want to find out more about the latest upcoming episode of the Amazing Life Show. You can click on this and hit like or follow. Actually follow better, because you can actually be notified when I'll be live next time with the next episode, right? This is my my Twitter channel, right? So you can actually go to my Twitter channel and follow my stuff here. I'll link it up for those of you guys on Facebook, because right now Jarvis only works on Twitch. Jarvis is my bot that makes everything a lot easier. Okay, this is my YouTube channel. So if you guys actually missed out on some of the episodes of the Amazing Life Show, every Sunday I will upload all previous episodes here. So you can watch the video on demand on Twitch, but unfortunately Twitch deletes the videos after 14 days, I think, right? So until I become a Twitch partner, then they will remain on the VOD list until about 60 days later, all right? After 60 days, they'll be erased as well. So YouTube is the only way I can do it, and because of TOS, the terms and whatever between YouTube and Twitch, I can only have those videos up 24 hours after Twitch is done live streaming. Alright, so just want to share with you guys a little bit about Mr. Recher. Right, so Recher is the head photographer and consultant at Braun Electronic AG Switzerland. So he has actually taken time off his busy schedule all the way in Switzerland, joining us for this evening. And right now I believe the time is about lunchtime. I really hope he has lunch. I think so. Okay, he has been with the company since 1998 and plays a major role in Braun Color's product development. An expert in light shaping, I will say life shaping as well because he really shaped my life. Is the author of Lighting Architecture and is famous for his educational videos from Braun Color. So for those of you guys who actually subscribe to the Braun Color YouTube channel, you'll probably see his tutorials on lighting, doing it alongside Carl Taylor. Alright, is a very experienced instructor and has spent the past few decades educating students and all over the world on lighting fundamentals and composition. And for those of you guys who have actually joined him on his workshops and masterclasses all over Singapore and Malaysia, in fact all over Asia, you probably recognize who he is, and you probably know this, that he is probably the one of the best lighting instructors around. I mean, like when I attended his masterclass back in last year, I think, in Singapore, yep, it was the most jam-packed workshop ever. I mean, like, wow, I walked out and I felt like, I just went through the matrix and I learned so much, and the thing is, it's just that his style of teaching is so fun and yet so firm, and you just retain everything they've learned. So he is a damn good, solid instructor. So we do have, Tomo Hitogo says it's 11 a.m. in Basel. That's where is based at. Yeah, so we do have Furry Photos. Hi, nice to see you here again. Archie, hello from Indonesia. Saufan, mantap. I'm still trying to learn a little bit of Malay. So mantap means very good, I think. Zik, oh yeah. Congratulations on your new wall thingy in your studio. Don Kumara, hello from Batam, Indonesia. Wow, we got so many people from all over the world joining us. That's very awesome. Okay, so Awal Mumoya, thank you for joining us as well. Urs is not only an instructor, but also one of the best photographers. Yes, so we're going to talk about his photography as well for a little bit. Okay, so I have his website here, so you can actually see his works. It's really, really something. And the thing about Urs is that I just love how his shots actually feel like fine art. The moment you look at it, it's just artwork, alright? It's not like those snapshots that you see. There's a lot of thought put behind the works. When I look at his shots, it just makes me want to think like, how did he do it? How did he get those catch lights, those unique looking catch lights? How did he control the lighting? How did he make motion part of the shot and still retain that kind of sharpness, that kind of quality? And it's just testament to his knowledge, you know. And from what I know, in fact, I've seen this before with my own eyes because we actually did, we were guest speakers at 2 events together, Shoot Bangkok and Shoot KL recently. He can just set up lights on the spot and build it out of nothing and create something really epic. And it's just a simple setup, but the works that he produced are just so mind-blowing, alright? In fact, a lot of us actually call him the thinking photographer because he really puts in a lot of thought with his works. I mean, like, when he showed me his works on his iPad, I'll be like, wow, that's definitely Photoshop. But then he proved to me wrong that there is no Photoshop. This is just the way it is. So this is something that's really amazing. So I'm just gonna share his website later on as well as his Instagram. All right, you can actually follow him on Instagram as well. And recently he has been, you know, because of COVID-19 and all that, he's been experimenting, doing a lot of stuff, and he's also got a print shop up and running right now. So if you guys want to have a piece of his art in your home, right? Which I'm sure you do, alright? There is a print shop here as well. Alright, so now I'm gonna bring Urs on board as well. But before that, just a little quick shout out. If you guys have been following this channel for a while, you guys want to show support for this channel, you can actually support through my Razer tip stream. Okay, so this is actually one of the ways that you can actually show support to the tips through tipping for the channel. And at the same time, right now I just have the QR code, so it's easier to you know, access the website. The best part about this is that if you were to tip using Tipstream via Razer, you will be able to get Razer Silver Points, which you can use to redeem epic Razer loot such as keyboards, mice, headsets. So you guys can see some of those in the background. Alright, there's plenty of choice. Yeah, so this is something that I hope you guys will enjoy as well. It's like sharing something that's really awesome. Okay, you guys get to support the channel and at the same time be rewarded for supporting the channel. All right, so now I'm gonna bring Urs in. Just give me a sec. I kind of lost the window. Sorry about that. That's the problem when you have too many apps open up and it's all necessary to run the channel. Okay, cool. Let me close this one. This one is not supposed to open. It just opened accidentally. All right. So we're gonna have Urs now. Let me just enlarge the screen. There we go. And I'll mute him. Alright, Urs, welcome to the channel. You're live now.
Hello, Miss. Hi, nice to meet you.
Yep.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you. How's everything in Basel, Switzerland?
Perfect, thank you.
Perfect. I heard from you just now. The weather is a little bit different from yesterday during the trial. It's a little bit darker now.
Yeah, really, yeah. It was yesterday we made the test run. It was bright and sunny and hot outside, and today we are just a thunderstorm passed. There's no light outside, so I had to switch on everything there around. But very last minute lighting. So sorry for that.
Oh, no worries, no worries. It's just that, you know, I think the weather in Singapore went all the way up to Switzerland, and that's why you get thunderstorms right now.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Okay, so Urs, we got a lot of folks right now. They are right now watching from both YouTube as well as on Twitch and Facebook. When did YouTube ever come up? Sorry about that. So we do have quite a number of people tuning in right now, and I'm pretty sure most of them are very interested to find out a little bit more about you. Okay, so can you just share with us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, I'm 52 years old already, unfortunately, and half of my life I've been taking photographs. So it's pretty much, yeah, I started quite late. I started when I was 22 I started education as a photographer. It took me 4 years to become officially a photographer, to having the small piece of paper in my hands that tells me that I'm a photographer. And at that time, I was naive enough to think that I actually am a photographer. And after education, I started learning something, really.
Oh,
You know,
why do you say that?
I see this as well a lot when I teach photography, that people get completely lost in the technical aspects of photography. And once you manage the technical side of it, you're still far away from being able to use them creatively.
Agreed.
And I thought, well, now I can, at that time, as I said, many years ago, I managed how to handle a CNR, with a depth of field and large format and blah, blah, blah. I could develop everything by myself and so on and so on. So I thought, wow, now I'm a professional. And then I started assisting. And I think this was the most important years of my education, because you know actually what's going on from a technical point of view. But then you see many completely different approaches. Like, as I said, for me, still life was always like a large format. And then I was assisting a young guy, and he did still life with a 35mm camera. Oh. And I asked him, "Don't you have a good camera? Are you not a professional or something?" And he said, "Relax, it's all coming good." So this really opened my eyes. Oh, you can do it differently, And like this, I started picking up different styles and slowly cooking my own photography out of it. Yeah.
But why? So why photography? I mean, you could have done everything else in the world, but why photography specifically?
Well, it was never, let's say, my dream to become a photographer. I was never, when I was, 10, 11 years young, like all the boys, I wanted to become a pilot. I wanted to pilot planes.
Yeah.
And but I didn't really think further than my nose. So I went to high school. I started college, and when I actually was studying something completely different, they offered classes in photography, practical work in the lab, as well as theoretical backgrounds. And like this, I started shooting more, and I spent more time in the studio and in the lab than I should have done my math, than I should have been studying. And after 4 semesters, I stopped college, and I was lucky enough to find a place where I could learn photography. I made an apprenticeship for 4 years.
4 years.
So, as I said, it lasted quite long since until I finally started it professionally.
All right, awesome. So could you share a little bit more about what you shoot actually? I mean, just now I did share a little bit on your website, but could you share a little bit more specifically about what you actually shoot these days?
These days, as I was lucky enough to shoot mostly everything throughout my career. Right now, I'm most motivated to shoot, let's put it that way, interesting people. Okay. Which means people that come with their own creativity, with their own, strong people, like dancers, like actors. And that's what I'm shooting right now. Mainly a lot of dancers. Yeah. And it's, I think it's very interesting what you ask, because I started with something that's probably known as to be more difficult, like still life photography. Like, it's still life's product photography. But with product photography, you have hours and hours and hours to play with the light. Okay, yes, because if you shoot, if you shoot a bloody pen, the pen doesn't really care if you're done after 5 minutes or if it takes you a week until it looks the way you want it. Okay. Yep. So when you shoot products or maybe architecture, you have time. Nobody complains. You can fiddle around until you're 100% happy, and like this, you learn a lot. Yep. And then for me, the second step was to shoot people. I did a lot of mail order fashion and fashion as well in the studio. So in a way, you shoot with people, so you have to be faster because you can't entertain them. they are not ready to shoot, or they don't have enough energy to be in front of the camera like 8 hours and be on the point. So you already have to be faster, but you still pay them in a way.
Yep.
So you can ask them to be there, and if it takes it 2 hours lower, they are happy because they are paid more. Okay, so this was, let's say, the intermediate level, and now I think I'm on the next level, where I shoot strong people, that they come with their own personality to the studio. They expect something, they expect to make an interpretation of their art, of their work. And from my point of view, this demands a complete different understanding, or a completely different level of technical abilities, because within minutes you have to change something and it has to work immediately. Because if there's somebody dancing in front of my camera, I can't make them redo it again and again and again. They give me maybe 10 chances, and if I miss these 10, I have a problem,
Yeah.
So even if the sets look simple, in the end, it's you have to be absolutely aware, without thinking about the equipment, without thinking about which button to turn on the camera, how to move your lights. You have to be very, very ready in your head and to know really what's going on in the studio.
Agreed.
So that's where I'm now. Okay, after 25 years, I'm shooting this kind of. I love shooting people that actually kick my ass in the studio. But when I'm excited by the photograph, they come out and look at it. No, but we have to do it again because of this, and I think that this doesn't work. So this collaboration between two creatives, this is really exciting right now.
Yep. And I can see that when you're shooting at Shoot KL, you were like really, trying to get a shot, and you were really communicating the model, and you just need to look for that spark, that shot that says it all. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to work, and you have to be honest with yourself and with your what you see on the screen. And if it's not 100, then you have to do it again. Yeah.
Yep.
So you mentioned this at the beginning. I don't rely on Photoshop. I don't say I fix this later, because I have let's say like the dancers or the actors. I want them to see the final result. I don't want to tell them I'm going to copy, I'm going to change this. We have a different background. I'm going to correct that and this and that. So I want them to see my final result. So we really talk about the same. But like this for this, I'm really, really targeted to reach what I have in my head.
Yeah. So basically, what you see is what you get, and I think that's brilliant. Yeah. So who inspires you to go with your choice of photography?
Pictures. So it's not
who, it's what.
Yeah, I don't want to mention names here. I mean, it can be as well. It can be something else. I can go to the ballet. I can go to the theater and see something. It's more like picking up moods. Okay. But moods and ideas. What I need is ideas in my head. I need visions of what I want to do next.
Yep.
It's not, I see this photographer's work, I want to copy. Okay, this is for me the wrong way. It's more like, it's moods. I want to pick up moods, create ideas in which direction I want to go, and then I try to arrange everything around.
Right.
But it's of course, I mean, it's daily business that I go through Instagram mainly. That I of course visit other photographers' websites, but I'm not relying on names, because I work with a lot of photographers that as well, where I get advertising pictures for Brown Color or let's say the young photographers, the Gen X, whatever, all these systems we have to promote new photographers. And even if a photographer is amazing, it does amazing work, you order or you get the next work and you think, not sure. or I go to a school where somebody just started with photography and they show you a series of photographs and you say, wow, that's really cool. So it's every photographer, one day he's producing art, and the other day is, let's say, to be polite, not producing art.
So it's more ultimately a quest of instinct and feelings, right?
Absolutely, yes. That's what I'm looking for, yeah.
Okay, so what are your latest and greatest, proudest achievements right now with regards to photography?
Probably goes in the same direction what I just said. I am now on a level that when I have something in my head, I can translate it into photographical terms. I can make it happen in front of the camera.
Right.
So this is as well at the same time the biggest challenge. So I need these creative ideas. I need these inputs. I need these visions. Mm-hmm. But this is the biggest struggle right now because I've done so many things, you know, so that I always come up. Oh yeah, I want to do this. Oh yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's, let's say, that's the struggle or the target. But the thing I actually quite, let's say, proud of is that most of the time it works in the studio. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so this time it's about your photo shoots, all right? Which one is the most difficult or toughest one yet?
Toughest photo shoot yet. It's probably when I'm outside. Mm-hmm. When I'm outside shooting fashion under time pressure, under pressure of money. There's a lot of money involved. Mm-hmm. And if there are clouds on the sky, then I turn nuts. Okay, this I don't like. I don't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. Because this is it's just not good for my heart, you know. And these were the toughest moments, yeah. If you have changing weather, you know, clouds come and go, and you try to have a beautiful lighting all the time. This changing forward and backward from shadow light, where you flash the sun, and then if you finally set up if you flash the sun because you don't have it, you know, the clouds disappear, and then you have two suns. So you have to change and you have to fill in. So these were some unpleasant moments.
Right.
Yeah.
But okay, right now I'm actually going to show the audience a little bit of you in the element. We actually have a video by Awamu Moya that I'm going to share in the group. Yeah. So just give me a sec. Let me just play the video. Okay, for those of you guys tuning in right now, you're in for a treat because this is something that will actually show you how Recher is really in his element. All right. So I think it was last year when he was in Cannes and he actually was given a few minutes, and this is like it encapsulates basically what he just said, right? How he is able to shape the lights and create the images straight off the bat. And given the time limit that he's given, the constraints in terms of space and equipment and all that, he just makes it happen, all right? So this is actually the trailer. Just give me a sec.
I was in fact traveling all my life, even before being a photographer, and then as well as a photographer independently. I lived a couple of years in South America, in Chile, and now as well for my job at Braun, I can still travel the world and talk about light. I try to have a technical approach to cinematographic photography. And the first is I would like to have 3 frames of a video sequence compressed into one photograph. So I'm going to work with stroboscopic effects, mainly on full body fashion. So the model can move or I can move the camera. Voilà, parfait. The technique by itself, it's not making a good picture. It just helps making the picture correct. But first of all, I still try very much to focus, to work with my eyes, with my heart, with my stomach, you know, to decide what I do. And then the technical part comes more like in a second step to make sure it works technically, you know. The other concept is continuous light on, let's say, part of the body or on the background. And then in combination with camera movements, we can actually create some dynamics like movie dynamics into a still photograph. So we have moved parts, but for the flash we have as well super sharp parts. Perfect.
the most important thing, I mean, it's very, very simple, very obvious. It's the thing which is in front of my camera. I don't mind if it's a still life, just a glass of water or a beautiful model. But whatever in front of the camera, that is what it's all about at that moment. If you think that life is hard to you, it doesn't treat you well, change the perspective, travel, see problems other people might have, So change the perspective, go somewhere else, look back to your life, what you have, and then you stop complaining. And in photography it's the same, if you try to shoot full body and just doesn't work out, get closer, shoot a portrait out of it, go higher, lower with the camera, change the perspective, helps every time. The lab was an outstanding experience, The opportunity you gave me was this to work together with a super high-end professional model, makeup artist, super fashion designer, all the equipment I had, great location, so it was an unbelievable experience for me. I would love to repeat it, of course, yeah.
Alright, so that was an awesome trailer by Aomoya, who will be having next week on the hot seat as well, but more on that later. So now we're gonna go back to Urs. Okay. Alright, Urs, welcome back. Sorry about that. I'm just having a very bad throat right now. Okay, so looking at the trailer, we see that you work with so much gear. I mean, like you have a massive camera, all your lighting setups and things like that. But one of the things that I'm pretty sure a lot of people ask you is this. When it comes to your own shoots, right? What do you actually have in your bag?
Always something different. It's as you know, I travel a lot, and really, what I ask for is a camera that works. Yep. Okay, so with my own camera, which is in my backpack, that where I travel, this is actually a camera that I use, let's say, more versatile. But you know it as well. What do you do in the studio? You set the camera to manual. You put the white balance to flash or daylight. You go with the ISO to the minimum. You set the aperture and the shutter speed.
That's all that matters.
And you press the button. Okay. Okay. So maybe that's as well because I'm a very old-fashioned photographer. I used the mechanical Hasselblads at the beginning of my career, and they don't have a menu. There's no menu button. It's really just an aperture and a shutter speed. Okay, and you have not even a battery. So it's that's what I want. I want the camera to work. I want the camera to be sharp. But then the camera has to, as I said, the camera has to work. It has to record what I create in front of the camera, but the creativity of the camera is limited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
So if you want to hear brand names, I work with Hasselblad for years and years because I grew up with Hasselblad, and the supply as well. The Broncolor studio supplied with Hasselblad. When I travel, I have as well a Phase One in the studio, which I use from time to time. I'm also fully equipped with a Nikon D810 in the studio. In my travel bag, there is a Sony, but there was an Olympus inside. Yeah, it's just whatever works best for this job. Or if I travel, I don't want to have a huge bag, So I have a zoom lens on my Sony because it's from wide angle to narrow angle. So it's I'm very, very flexible regarding cameras. I really just want them to be safe and that I don't lose my brain with cameras. I want to be as simple as possible. But as you know, I'm not that flexible when we talk about lighting. There I have a different opinion. It's as well. I grew up in Basel, and Broncolor is very close to the studio where I had my education. So I grew up with this brand. I know from the beginning on how it worked, so I don't have to think about it, what it does. And I'm working for Braun. I know it by heart, and I think it's the most important thing that you know how to handle it. And of course, from a technical point of view, as I'm kind of responsible for the product development for the quality of the light,
Yep.
I'm deeply convinced that it is the best. Yeah. Sorry for that.
Awesome. Okay. So I've seen you travel before. I mean, we traveled to Malaysia and Thailand together at one point last year, and I noticed that you only carry around small backpack.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm quite envious because you saw me dragging my bag and all that. You travel really light, so I think that's really awesome. So what's really inside that haversack? iPad and MacBook, is it?
Yes, I can't show you the MacBook Pro because we are
you're
using
using
it right now. Then attached to it, there's an orange cable. The Tether Tool Pro goes to the Mac, and on the other side, in the moment, there's a Sony on the other side.
I see.
For traveling. I don't travel with medium format. If, let's say, I go to a place, I work together with a distributor, and he wants me, because maybe they sell this or that camera, they provide me the camera. If I have to provide the camera, I just use my little Sony, and otherwise it just fits in my backpack. And together with the MacBook Pro, I'm ready to shoot. It's super compact. It fits in a small day bag. But MacBook Pro, Sony, cable, ready to go.
Just the essentials, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so people, most of the folks who follow your works, especially, right? They know you as someone who can effortlessly set up lights. Even myself, when I look at you work, right, you set up everything so effortlessly. In terms of setting up for shoots, for work, or even for teaching. When you first started out, do you have any difficulty at all?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I had difficulties, and I was probably in the same position like many of my students are now. I was always eager for rules. Okay, so when you shoot a portrait, where's the soft light? How much difference between the main light and the fill-in light? I was asking for rules all the time. I didn't get them, so I was very disappointed. Well, what the hell? I'm making an apprenticeship here. I'm going to school, and you don't tell me what I have to do. Now, when I'm asked, how do I have to shoot a portrait? Then I can't answer it, because now I get the same answer that I hated years ago. I ask, what do you want? What kind of lighting do you want? What's the mood you want to create? And but this was the problem, to be self-confident enough to look at a photograph and, wow, that's really cool. Or to be honest enough and say, that's not it yet. Okay, and keep on working. So this was the struggle I had at the beginning. After I don't know, 1 year of education, and you have to. Did you make your first job or something? All of a sudden you have to sign it. When your boss does it, it's all clear. Yeah, I would have done it the same way, because I've seen it 100,000 times. But all of a sudden it's you behind the camera, and you have to sell, or you have to sign the picture. And this was quite a challenge. Yeah.
Do you have any setups that you could share? Because I remember you did say that you have some behind the scenes shots that you can share with the audience, right? So let's see some of the setups.
I can certainly do this if I manage this.
Don't worry, we have practice.
So I share.
Let's look at the chat box in the meantime. Awa Mumoya said that the kids in the back kick your ass. I think it's referring to the photo that's hanging on your wall.
Let me see. Okay, open files. So let's say if you start with one of the dancers, we can go here till here and open those. Blah blah. All right, good. So this is I think it's just pretty much a pre-COVID break. And you see, it looks again very simple in the end. It's just a softbox coming from the top through the screen. And what you don't really see very clearly is that this entire main light here, the screen, is actually in front of the model. It's not on top of her, because here you see these rods are going down. So all this is like a top front light because she's entirely painted in black.
Right.
So I needed enough light from the front, and then to separate her from the background, I have two soft boxes left and right that go down the body and separate black on black. And then what's actually very important, it doesn't really look like because it's just thrown on the ground here, is actually this one. And this is quite important. It's a small softbox. Being a small softbox, it's more aggressive, it creates more shine, and it modulates actually the dark parts of the body, because these lights are more like backlights, they don't come to the front of the body. And this one is super soft, so it doesn't create any shine, so you don't really feel the muscles, you don't see the power of the body. So this is quite an essential one because it brings some crispiness, it brings a little bit of controlled shine. And so this is what you get in the end. Huh?
Wow. Are these straight out of camera?
These are straight out of camera, of course, yes.
That's amazing. When I first saw the behind the scenes shot, I thought that the screen was directly on top of her, and now that you corrected me, you actually said that it's actually for the front light. Then I noticed that
exactly.
the four bases for the poles are actually off the canvas or the backdrop.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. Yeah. Otherwise, it's you need some front light, because it's so dark. If this would be above her, we would probably have just a shiny part on her shoulders, but the rest would be too black. So I had to bring this to the front, but it's huge. This light is huge.
Yep.
So it was not creating a beautiful texture. So that's why this one came in. Preparing the shoot, these three lights, they have been there. And the small adjustment I had to do is only this one. So that's what I mentioned at the end, she's there. And when a colleague of her painted her, and even during this painting, I had to readjust my lights so that when she was actually black from finger to toes, I was ready. And this is the only thing that I did add in the end to be ready to shoot.
That's amazing.
Fast. And no, they are out of camera. I cleaned the floor. I'm not allowed to lie here. So I cleaned because she was her feet were dark as well, and there were dark or black
patches
mistakes here on the floor. So I cleaned those. But all what you see on the body texture, all how the muscles come, and this is that's all out of camera.
Wow. And what's that black I'll assume it's some kind of a black liquid for makeup or something like that for her whole body.
Yes, it is. They use it at the theater. It's this one. And yeah, it's all black now because she was holding it in her hand. So I can't tell you, but she brought it from the theater. It's water based, so it's very clean. One shower and it's all gone. Even if you do it if you put it into the hair, it's really gone after a hot shower of 5 minutes. It's all washed down.
Oh, that's good.
So it's very useful. It's super high density, so you don't have to paint. It doesn't dry out very fast like other body paint could do it. But whenever I do something like this, I just ask them to bring it.
Yep. And I noticed that you actually have some sort of whiteboards near the base here. I assume that those are used for the bridging, so that the model can head over without disrupting the floor.
Exactly. Otherwise, I had to clean the floor anyway. But at least like this, I could limit the cleaning to the minimum. But I didn't know the paint, so I just made sure that she's standing here as well. This is concrete floor, that it's not too cold, that she doesn't get cold feet, because it was still, it was February, March when we shot this. So just this is a kind of isolating at the same time protecting my floor. Yeah.
Yep. We have someone asking here, Furry Photos asks, any reasons why the texture light was placed on the floor in front?
Because if I take it higher, it's in front of the camera. Very simple. I had to. I wanted it in the center. So not from the left, not from the right, but from the center. And normally you shoot from the center. So I had to take a narrow softbox that it's not in the picture frame, because the behind the scenes is taken pretty much from the camera perspective, you know. So you can imagine if I take it just 20 centimeters higher, it cuts the feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just at the end of from the perspective, just at the end of the background, or on the black paper on the floor.
And how many times do you trial and error to get this setup right?
Once.
Once, wow.
I mean, test shots. We made maybe 3 test shots, but that's exactly what I said before. You know, also the lights left and right, they were set up, and when she was painted, I asked her to be painted as well, partially in the right position, so that even when there is the makeup artist, or actually was another dancer is painting her, I can already check the light on her legs.
Yep.
But then when everything was there, we really pressed the button like 3 times, adjusting a little bit, not even positions, but adjusting just the power of the 4 lights, and that's it, you know. But that's exactly what I mentioned at the beginning. You have to be super, super fast without give me another 15 minutes. Oh no, I have to change this. Oh no, the softbox is too small. Oh, I need another pack. Oh, the lens is wrong. Yeah, you have to be ready. Yeah.
And I recall one of the questions that was given at some of your seminars previously, and I'm going to ask you now, for the benefit of the audience here. Do you ever use a light meter when you do your setup?
Yes and no. The most important light meters are these 2.
Yeah.
Left eye, right eye. If it looks good. Okay. But if it's then a normal portrait, you know, with normal skin tones, average shadows, that's it. If it looks good, that's good. But let's say in this situation, when you have black on black, I read out RGB values. Okay, these are much more precise than light meter. Additionally, the light meters, they don't know where the light is coming from, nor do they know what I want. Okay, so let me show you something.
Sure.
I open something else quickly here. Or do I? No, okay. So I have to go back here, not setups, live show. All right, so I open these lights. All right, so I hope they are more or less in the right order. Yes. Okay, so this photograph, for example, it's not a nice portrait, it's just something that illustrates very nicely what I want to show. These are 2 lights that have the same power. The front light, which is a softbox, and the back light for the white contour here. Yep. And they have the same power. Okay, but now this light, first of all, has a different color, and it's much brighter than the main light. If I meter this with a light meter, they give me F8, F8, so they say, oh, it's the same. Okay, but if you shoot it, it's not the same. Because if you have backlights, if the light comes from the back on a semi-gloss surface as skin, the light is reflected much more dominantly than if the light comes from the camera angle. And if I move this same light, let's say I switch off the main light first, so we only see this light, and without changing the distance, nor the power, I just move the light in a circle around the model at the same distance, it becomes more skin tone and less power. Okay?
Yep.
So this is always the same power and the same distance. But the light the light meter does not know where the light is.
True.
So, and I don't want a light meter to tell me what f-stop I have to use. So first it comes all from my heart. I say, oh, this looks good. And then if it's, let's say, white on white, I have a close look at my RGB values. Or as well with the black on black, I have a close look at the at the RGB values, that I have a clear separation, that the black actually looks black, but separates from the background, and a light meter is by far not precise enough. And let's say either if I shoot into focus software or lately much more into Capture One, I can analyze the final file, okay, with no interpretation. So it's even when there's filters on and stuff, it's just the final result that I can have a close look at.
Awesome.
Yeah, so sorry for that.
Hey, no worries. I think this is really informative. We do have some questions here in the chat box here in Twitch. This is coming from Yon ZZZ. Would you prefer the body paint to be a bit shinier? I think it's referring to the previous one.
Yes, so I open one more of those. Blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Here. Sorry. Setups. Then we had one of the Lydias. Let's take this one. So, I mean, if I would have liked it to be more shiny, I would have done it. Okay?
Yep.
But in this situation, so which means, no, I want it like that. Otherwise, I would have done it differently.
Yep.
I mean, it's and this is not, it's sometimes you're at a point, where you can make the picture different, okay, but not better anymore. But I like it like this, and of course I communicated very closely with the dancer, and we said, yeah, that's actually the texture we want to go for. Huh? However, if I wanted it more shiny, I would not have changed the painting. If you start working with water on it, you probably destroy the entire texture of everything. I would have changed the lighting, so which means I probably would have taken the lights a little bit further away. So if you go back to the setup, this is Lydia black setup. So how can you make the light more shiny? These two soft boxes, if you make them a little smaller, so this is the biggest one we have, and that's the second biggest one we have. So if you just take the next smaller one, light becomes more aggressive. Okay, so more aggressive, more shine. So without making her more wet or adding water to her skin,
yes,
it would already be more aggressive, more shiny. This one, I can't really make this screen smaller, but I can take this softbox further down, so it's illuminating less of the screen. Yep. So again, the light surface becomes kind of more aggressive, more punctual, harder, creates more shine. And plan B for this one would be a ring flash. So because this is still, well, it's a small softbox and it's pretty far away from her, because these are like 2.5 meters. So it's probably, like 4 meters away from her. So it's really creating a lot of shine already. But if it's still too matte, you just take this one further away, or you make it harder. And then, for example, a ring flash is a super hard light, but it does not create any shadows. So the ring flash would have been the perfect choice as well here for the body. So, and like this, also by choosing smaller light shapers, I would have been able to create more shine.
Yep, that's awesome.
The ring flash would have been a little bit of a disadvantage, because I shot portraits as well. I went sometimes very close to her to shoot portraits, and with the ring flash, when you move around with the ring flash in the studio, of course, you change the power all the time. So that's a little bit tricky then.
Yeah. Another question by someone else. I think this is Levin Nicholas. Hello, Herr Earth. Can I use tracing paper as modifier for the upper light? I think it's replacing the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. The optical density is quite low, so yeah, no problem.
Awesome.
Just looking for this portrait. What if I don't? It's so super small here. Okay, forget it.
Gary Chong asks, mine to share the setting of all the lighting.
Of all the lighting?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think he's asking for the power levels for each light.
Oh! I don't remember. Just at the right power level, that it looks the right way. I think I was shooting at 11. But let's say the position of the light. Well, I stop sharing here.
Yep.
So the position of the light and the size of the light is like a creative decision. Okay, so if I make it smaller, I change the light. If I make it further away, I change the light. The aperture as well, obviously, is a creative decision or a technical decision, because here I wanted sometimes, because she's dancing around, maybe sometimes she's a meter closer or a meter further away, so I wanted to have some freedom with my focus, so I chose 11. So these are actually the parameters I choose.
Yep.
I say, okay, this is my size of light, this is the distance, that's my aperture. And then I just press the buttons until it's okay. So don't ask me about choose, I don't know. Okay. The joules are just in the end they just make it right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I tell you it's 400 joules, and if you would have done it with 450 joules, it would be wrong. No, it's not like that.
Yeah.
So you fix everything else: position of lights, sizes of lights, and aperture, and then you press buttons until it does it. Was it?
Hits the vision.
The light does what you want it to do. Exactly.
Yeah. I think this is the same as how some people ask on those forums, like what's your setting for this shot and what's your setting for this shot. I think it really varies from place to place and from person to person. In terms of where you're shooting at, also it really just matters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So this is something that I hope people understand as well, because we do see these kind of questions even in the pro lighting forums, if there's any. Yeah. Okay, so when you look at all these setups, I mean, you show your tutorials online freely with brown color and all that. Do you ever, or have you ever worried about? Do you ever worry about someone telling you something like they can do something similar with lesser gear or something like that?
No. If I'm copied, it's an honor.
Awesome.
But I've done it. I've done it before. I was first. No, I
Love
don't
it.
care. No, otherwise I couldn't. Otherwise I couldn't do my job. If I would be scared about this. No, it's really. I see a lot of people, let's say, copying or learning. It's maybe not about the final results, but that they copy actually the shot and they send it to me. And look what I've done. I shot this portrait with your technique, or shot a famous one is this the eggplant. I get a lot of eggplants that people shoot and send it to me. And no, it's actually that's what I want. That's why I do all this. That's why I share all this information. I want people to understand the set, and of course the first step to understand it is maybe to reproduce it. But then I really hope that this is not the final. I don't want them to reproduce a picture I've done before and put in their own portfolios. I just want them to repeat it, maybe understand the lighting and use it for their own creativity. That's what I want. But as I said, as well, when I get inspired, I said this before as well, when I get inspired by a photograph, I would never try to copy it because somebody else has done it before. So I'm too late. Okay. So, and if somebody's copying my work, it's an honor, but it's not a competition because I'm first.
Okay, awesome. Because I myself actually went through your workshop before, and the moment I reached home, I actually tried out the same thing, and I tagged you to it. And I was quite humbled that you actually say, "Oh, wow, this is the technique that we learned together." And this is very different from like some of the other photographers. Some of them will actually go like, "Oh, you copied me," and there's a lot of drama online. But you're different. You really are a teacher. I think that's one thing that a lot of people love about you, especially.
Yeah. No, it's very easy.
Now, speaking of your what do you call it, eggplant. This is like one of the things I keep seeing throughout, and I noticed also that it's also on your print shop right now. So that actually made me realize that this is like something that you are channeling some of your efforts into, going into printing and selling some of your works. Could you just tell us a little bit more about your print business?
It's something that I just started. Together with a new website. I think that I have a new website and it's online maybe 3 months or something like that. And the print shop is actually online since about one month. Really, I because of this strange period, I had a lot of time to rethink, and as well, actually, the idea was in my brain since Shoot KL,
Ah,
because there you gave away prints.
yes,
And
yes, we did.
I was printing very little. Sometimes, well, there are some prints around here. You know, I printed once in a while just for my personal freedom, or if I had an order. I was printing very little. But then I saw some of my newer photographs being printed and given away as a goodie, you know, or as a prize. I said, well, actually, this feels good, you know, to have it. And then I asked the guy who was programming my website, hey, how difficult is this to make a print job? And they said, well, that's easy. If you want one, I can do this for you. And I had enough time now to choose the pictures, and to make the presentation, everything, and to make sure that whatever I offer, not all the pictures are available at the same sizes, because as explained before, I was using as well, let's say, smaller cameras, not only full frame, not only medium format. So I wanted to make sure that what I offer is from the resolution, it's from the quality, it's 100% at least. And yeah, it was just a fun project, yeah, to have this print shop running.
Yeah, could you share the print website?
Yes.
Pretty sure some of you guys would like to take a look at it.
Sure. I go here, share screen.
Yeah.
And then make a new window. It's just very simple. It's my name.ch, Recher.ch, the website. And there you have the normal categories.
Yep.
Let's say people portraits, because that's what I'm most busy with. That's as well the largest portfolios, all the portraits I have. Then second is what's interesting the most right now is dance photography.
Oh, I love the one in the cloth series.
Sorry?
I love the one in the cloth series.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the same girl like in the black one.
Lydia, right?
Not the same day, but that's what I said. You know, you just give them nothing. You know, you give them just a piece of white elastic fabric, and then you just shut up and press the button. And this is a good example, you know, to explain how I meet the light. You know, so you just have to make sure that, because it's white on white, you know, that you have a nice separation here,
yes,
and a beautiful texture there. But with a light media, it's just too tricky. And maybe these little white areas here, they might be slightly over. So if you meet them in RGB, maybe it's a 250 or a 252. But if it works in the picture, I just don't care. Okay, so from a very strict point of view, you say, it's a little bit too bright here, you know. But when I make it less bright, I lose this little bit of transparency I have. So I just leave it there. All right, but we actually wanted to go to the print shop. So it's all here on the right, print shop. And then you can as well choose your categories if you want only dance, only the fashion ones. If you want to do to see some landscapes, okay. And I'm jumping over the nudes, portrait, even stills sounds very boring, but I selected the photographs that I think they work perfectly for stills. You know, exactly like this one. It was just. When I was shooting with water, probably some flour, I protected my floor with this kind of plastic, and before I threw it away, I threw it around in the studio and pressed the button just like 15 times. And I think it's amazing, super decorative photograph that came out as a result of it.
It looks like the plastic is dancing, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's the same piece of plastic, and well, obviously a little bit of Photoshop. I just make sure that they fit, the size fits all the time. But I've done this 15 or 20 times and chose 5 nice patterns, and this was it already. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Can we look at the dance category, because there's one shot that I remember seeing before, and I just want to look at it again. This is the one, the spotlight, the lady hitting the floor. The third one, I think. Top right.
This one. No.
Yeah, that one. I remember you told us a little bit of a story about this. Maybe you can share the story of how you got this shot in again with the audience.
Yes. The shot, I call it Mission Impossible, no, because it's like the Tom Cruise film.
Yeah.
But the picture is shot in an angle of 90 degrees. So you have actually to turn the photograph now by 90 degrees to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So what seems to be the floor is actually the wall of my studio. And she is just jumping like a half a meter high. She's not, let's say, pushing herself away from the floor. She just jumps into the circle of light.
Yep.
So the floor where she's actually landing obviously is here on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turn the picture by 90 degrees, and this makes this floating atmosphere. But it's
Brilliant.
well, you can say it's manipulation Photoshop, because I rotated the picture, but I think this kind of manipulation should be kind of allowed, you know. It's not cheating, it's just turning the photograph.
Yeah.
So this is the amount of cheating I do in my photography, yeah.
But it's absolutely brilliant. And this was shot with which modifier? Because the circle of light is perfect. It's like there's no fuzziness at the edges or whatsoever.
Yes, it's a Pulsar Spot 4. It's a optical snoot, and it's the optical snoot with the highest light precision. So it's a very specialized light. Probably you won't see it a lot worldwide, but for me it's like a joke, because it's super precise. If you're missing a line somewhere, that they just need a little bit of light, or if I shoot front panels of power packs and where you plug the cable in, it's just a black hole. You know, this projector brings you some flashlight wherever you want, or if you want to have patterns on the background. I've lately done a series where I actually project a negative of a tree I took. So just the texture of a tree, I projected it on the back of a model, and you see the shape of the body, like the nude body, but the texture was wood.
Yeah.
So it looked like a carved tree. So if you have this kind of a lot of creative possibilities, or technical, solves a lot of technical problems as well.
Yep. It's amazing.
Anyway, so if you are here, we just kind of scroll through. It's just it's a selection of the pictures. I think they are most decorative. They work best if you hang them on the wall.
Yeah.
If, however, somebody sees another photograph on the website or needs a different dimensions, smaller, big, or whatever, you just contact me via email. And otherwise, I just offer standard sizes from A4 to A1. And they will be printed with the highest possible quality. I work together with a lab here in Basel that makes prints for museums. So it's really the highest possible quality that I can offer like that.
Awesome.
And as I'm talking to Asia right now, free shipping worldwide.
Wow. Okay, so a lot of people are getting excited right now because they did see free shipping sounds nice.
Yes,
we also have
I know.
we have Wesley Wong here saying that a print is a photographer's statement. Glad you're advocating for printmaking, Mr. Urs. Yeah. Okay, so Ken actually asks, which is your favorite image in your print shop?
In the print shop.
Yeah, let's take a look again.
Okay, I have to go back.
Sure, no problem.
Favorite picture.
Favorite picture.
The one I would hang on the wall. Difficult. It's so difficult to say. Also, I think really the number one. I think this one is really. I think this brings everything together. You know, it's super creative. It's what I'm busy right now. It's a super strong photograph. If you hang it on the wall, of course, you must have the corresponding room. You know that can deal with a black photograph. But if you hang this, and if you have a nice spot on it, nice size, it's really a very, very strong photograph. I like this one. It's much easier going. And this is the one we printed in KL. I like it.
You haven't
It's
shared the
beautiful,
screen yet.
warm
Sorry.
colored. It's not 100% neutral. I mean, this wall is it's a white wall, but I shifted everything a little bit towards warm.
Urs, you have not shared the
But I
screen
see
yet.
it differently, you know, because I have a emotional relation with every single shot, you know. I mean, if you're more into still lifes, I mean, can be very modern as well.
Urs,
It's a
Urs,
tulip falling into a mixture of milk and water. It's a
Sorry.
technical photograph. Difficult. If you look behind me, is it there? Oh yeah. Okay. So if you look at this one, and then how can I?
Urs, you have yet to share your screen actually.
Oh, you don't see it. Oh, don't see now. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
you're just too
know.
excited to talk about your photos, but you haven't shared your screen, so we couldn't see
Oh,
anything.
sorry.
It's okay, no worries.
So I have to take this away quickly. So sorry for that.
No worries. There we go. Yep. Okay, let's start over.
Okay. Okay. Very sorry.
No worries.
Okay. So if you look at the background behind me,
Mhm.
okay, this photograph is hanging there. So, but this is as well a very emotional story. You know, it's an old photograph. It's analog photography.
Wow.
But what I said before, again, sorry. So this is one where everything comes together, technical aspects as well as a great photograph in the end. And just with the perfect shape of a body, it's shot out of the movement, and it's a very strong photograph. It's a dark photograph, but if you have it on the wall and the spot on it, it's really, really, really super strong. Or if you go back, this one I mentioned, which is again, let's say not correct because the white balance is simply wrong. This is my white studio wall and this is white flower. Okay, so I kept it all a little bit in warm tones because I think it just works better because she has as well this kind of skin tone, beautiful underwear, and if you push everything a little bit to the warm, it's just makes the picture work. So that's again, the decision is here. It's not right or wrong, you know. I like it like this, and that's how I show it. That's how I sell it.
Yep.
So this is one I definitely see hanging on walls. If it's a very modern environment, the plastic can work. This is, I think, the only photograph which is in the print shop that came out during a actual seminar in Shenzhen in China. So it's not perfect. So I left all the dirt here on the floor, you know. Even I took the cropping all the way down that you can see the end of the paper. So all the unperfect parts are part of this art, you know, of the impression of the photograph is this double exposure, but the movement and the feeling, the mood that this model gave me. I think she was 19 years old. It's unbelievable. The beauty of her face, of the movement of her body, the position of the fingers. It's just everything so perfect that I on purpose left the unperfect parts here. So it's but that's what I said. I can't choose pictures for somebody else because I get excited about all of them, you know. And if you're more about something colorful, that's the last one I showed, you know, tulip falling into milk, milk water mixture. Technically interested because it's a super high speed photography. Nevertheless, it's not only technical, it's as well a nice photograph in the end. But I can't take anyone's decision, you know, to which one. But I chose photographs. I chose photographs that make sense, you know. From a technical point of view, I know they are technically 100%. They are sharp, even if they're ordered by A1 or even bigger. I can make them print, and I don't have to hide myself.
Hide yourself. Wesley said that it was a joy printing the one that was actually showcased at Shoot KL. Wesley is the guy behind the Ilford Galleries in New York.
You know, so Wesley started this whole print shop thing. You know?
Yes, he did. So I guess it inspired you to actually start your own print shop as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
And for those viewers at home, if you guys want, you can actually head over to his print shop. I'll put the URL link later on in the chat boxes so you guys can actually purchase your prints. And right now, Urs is actually shipping out worldwide. Well, is it worldwide or to Asia only?
No, worldwide, yeah.
Worldwide
for free.
Free?
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, this was a difficult part on the print shop. If you have to figure out to ship it to Malaysia or to Indonesia, it's like a little bit more expensive than if I ship it to Germany. But let's forget it. It's the differences are not that big.
Yep.
So let's say if somebody next village orders a print, he pays half of your shipping costs. So the further away you live, the more you have to order. The cheaper it actually becomes.
Yep.
But for me, it would be a logistical nightmare. So I said, of course, I charge for the shipping, but everyone the same amount. So it's much easier to handle for me.
Awesome. So you guys can actually have a piece of Urs artwork on your wall if you actually head over to the print shop. I'll put a link up in the chat box below later on.
Exactly.
Okay?
You can have it signed or not. It will not be framed. It will just be rolled.
Mm-hmm.
But then you find all the information on the website as well.
I know which one I want already. Okay. Neil asks, hi Urs, how do you approach your landscapes without much post-processing too?
Yeah. Landscapes. If you look to Instagram, there are a lot of high saturation landscapes, but they are not natural. Okay, I know when I see the photograph, okay, it's a nice photograph, but this landscape doesn't exist, it's too much. I push my landscapes as well a little bit, but actually, you might laugh hearing this, they are out of Capture One.
Oh.
Okay, so
oops.
So my landscapes, I push them a little bit, I modify them a little bit, maybe bring back the sky a little bit. And clarity, I work a little bit with clarity. If I have some issues that the foreground is not clearly enough. But I think these are still landscapes the way I saw them.
Yep.
Okay, because the eye anyway sees it differently than the camera. Let's say now it's pouring with rain. If I shoot now, it would look differently what I see with my eyes than what the camera sees. So I just push the levels in a way that I think, okay, this is what I shot when I was there. Yeah.
Yep. So
there's a lot of bad weather landscapes as well. If you look at, I love traveling to the north of Europe in summer. Let's say Iceland and Scotland and the Netherlands as well. And there, most of the time, you have quite bad weather. So I'm not, and I hike a lot, so I shoot. Again, it's more emotional. I shoot when I'm somewhere and I love to see it. If the light is now really this half an hour from 8 to 8:30 in the evening, if I'm in a spot at noon and it's pouring with rain, I shoot. Okay, maybe it's nonsense. Okay, then I forget it. But maybe you can bring something out of it. And if you look at my landscape photography, you will see that a lot are done in heavy rain, in clouded skies. But that's what I do here.
Yeah, awesome. Let's see if anyone else got any questions. You can just post them inside the chat box, and we'll attend to them. All right. So, Urs, you just shared a little bit about how you post-process your images. So, let's talk a little bit about your lighting setups again. Which one would be your most favorite lighting setup, if you have any? Like the most go-to one.
Yes. Well, I like the versatility of my light setups. But well, you have been fair enough to send me these questions before.
Yeah.
So of course I'm prepared. Okay, so I'm going to share screen again. This happens here. And I actually have one that I would like to share. And Photoshop. You tell me if I do something wrong, because I don't know exactly what you see here.
I trust you because I don't understand the language. So sorry.
Okay, no. But like before that, I start talking about something and you don't even see it.
Oh, you mean share screen? Yeah, it's live and I can see a Photoshop.
It's like, okay, good. So there you go. Laura. Okay, so let's open this one quickly.
Yep. Oh, awesome.
And so I don't have a behind the scenes, but I would say this is one of my favorite setups, because I can make it with minimum equipment. So when I travel, when I do portraits on location, I have to bring basically one softbox and maybe a second softbox for the background, which is not even the case here. So the important thing is, as I said, it's just my favorite softbox, which is a 60 by 100 softbox. Is the most versatile one. I can put it far away, then I get a sharp light. I can put it close, then I get a super soft light, or I can angle it away, so that the model actually just is at the very, very edge of the light. So let's say the model's ears are, let's say, behind the softbox, so I get a light fall off on that side. But as well on the other side, I get, of course, a little bit of a fall off, because it's the opposite side of the light. Then I have two very simple flags. Could be just a piece of white paper, and for this one reflects the light of the softbox for this area a little bit, and this one is a little bit of fill-in on the other side. And how does this look in the end? It's really, I think it's the lighting setup that I used in most of my photographs. Actually, you know what? We go to my website again.
Sure.
Because portraits. So, for example, this is it already. Here I did a double exposure with Photoshop, but the dark contours left and right. Okay, this is because the softbox is angled away. Okay, so this is really done with one single light. It's not out of camera, because here it's just I just copied the face. I put it. I copied the face, mirrored it horizontally, and put it over again. That the eyes are perfectly matching. But this is the light. But if you want to see it without any manipulation, we have to go here.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Right? So that's exactly the same thing. Yeah? So you see, I can't zoom in now because it's my website, but this is the angled softbox. This razor sharp highlights in the eyes. So it's a square softbox, but it's turned in an angle that you only see this sharp line like a strip light. Yeah? So this is the light fall off, because the light, actually this part of the face behind the lighting.
Yep.
And this is just the normal, let's say within brackets, the normal shadow. Huh? And there I didn't even add any additional light on the background. This is something similar, but the light comes from the top, but as well with the dark contours, that it's always a single light solution, you know? So you have been asked me before if I'm afraid if somebody copies me using less equipment. Well, if he does this portrait with less than one softbox, I would like to know how. Okay? Because it's one. Okay. Again, the same.
Love that.
The same picture. Here you see again that the first line is the softbox, and the second line is the little reflector on this side. So this is really probably the only technique that you will find several times in my portfolio. That's a different story. Here we go again. With a combination here on the background is not flashed. Here the background is continuous light, and I moved the camera. So because the flash is super short, we have absolutely sharp line with all the little sparkles here on the eyes. Yep. But then we have to move things on the background. Again, some technical talk. Sorry, I can't stop it. Because I turned the softbox in a very narrow angle, you know, this makes the light source appear much smaller from the model's perspective, and this makes the light more aggressive. So that's why I get these beautiful sparkles here, you know. If you use this kind of technique, you need a little bit of makeup maybe, otherwise you get a white line down the nose, but it brings out the skin texture very, very nicely. And if you have makeup like here on the lips, you know, if you see this on high resolution, if you can zoom in, which I can't do on the website now, it's amazing what this light brings. Yep. And it's one light. Huh?
So you were saying that this was done with the 60-100 softbox, but let's say if you were
It's
to
always a 60-100 softbox, yeah.
if you were to use something else like maybe the strip box like a 30x120, will you still be able to achieve something similar, or you won't because the light is different?
No, the problem is your question. I hear your questions a lot during workshops. You know, because
exactly.
if you see this photograph and you look at the highlight in the eyes, you say, okay, it's a strip light.
Yeah, that's what people will say.
Exactly.
Yep.
But no, the highlight shows the shape of a strip light because I turn it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a strip light and the strip light goes straight to the face without being angled away, this would be the brightest part here.
Yes.
So you get this fall off, not because of the narrowness of the softbox, but because you turn it. Okay. Now, if I use a big softbox like the 60-100 and I turn it, it still remains a certain softness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even when it's turned into a harder angle. But if you take from the very beginning a narrow softbox, which is already hard, and you turn it, it's double hard.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you might really get too much shine on the nose. Here it's already limit. You know, I still like it this way if it is traveling down the nose, because you can feel the skin of the model.
Yep.
But if you make it, if you take it a smaller softbox and you angle it, you will get the same effect. But as well on this side, you might already get a harsh nose shadow, and I really don't recommend it.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's very important that people understand the differences between certain softboxes and the execution they can provide. I mean, in terms of looks, this is something that
exactly.
That you,
I mean,
you
it's not just a softbox. You know, it's not. When I'm asked which light shaper do you use, you know, nobody ever asks me how do you use it, at what angle, what distance, horizontally, vertically, and that's the most important thing, you know.
Yeah.
How you use the things, not only this or that.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so Levin Nicholas asks, why Broncolor stopped to produce Broncolor Minicom 160? And for this time, is it worth to buy lighting with high power like 1200 watts?
Depends what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you shoot architecture, if you shoot big setups outside, yes. Okay, if you shoot in the studio, and especially let's say if you shoot 35mm full frame, Nikon, Sony, Canon, whatever, I think you don't need that much power anymore. We have these beautiful lenses nowadays, you know. You buy these 1.4, 1.8 lenses, and if you have to close them down to 11 all the time, doesn't really make sense in my eyes, you know.
Yeah.
Sensitivity is not a problem. So for me, it's much more important that I can go down with my aperture, with my power. You know, I said this before, that sometimes the position of the light is given. So the light has to be at only half a meter from the model or whatever. And I want to shoot this at 2.0. So for me, it's more important that I can go down. I never have the problem that I don't have enough light in the studio. Okay, because I have the beautiful lenses, I can cheat to 200, 400 ISO maybe. So that's not a problem. The only thing that did not change since we have the beautiful lenses is the sun. Yep. The sun is as strong as it has been 100 years ago. So if you're outside and you have to combine sunlight and daylight, sunlight and flashlight, okay, then of course you are happy when you can go up to 1200 joules.
Yep.
So in the studio, in my eyes, it doesn't make sense anymore. If you do a lot of outside, if you have windows in architecture photography, you have windows, you don't want to blow the windows, or you want to compete with your flashes against the sun, then it makes sense. So for me, it's an outdoor thing only to carry around a lot of power.
Yep. Okay, great. Emily Flip from Singapore says, Urs, I just want to say I'm still so captivated by your live shoot at Shoot Scene 2018, where the model was lying in a pool of water. Your lighting techniques are so out of this world. The shot was so beautiful, and the way you did it was so mind-blowing. I get the same sentiments as well. I've seen it live in Singapore. I've seen it live in Thailand again when you did it, and I've seen it for myself when I did my workshop. Because one thing I enjoy about your workshop is that you actually push your students to do what you did, and you actually, I would say it's like tough love. You actually teach, and you teach firmly. And you correct them with an honest and sincere method. You don't hold back, and I think that's one of the best ways to learn. So I really appreciate that as well. Yeah, this is the one.
So that's what we talk about. Huh?
Yes, it's brilliant. And this shot is probably like the shot for the workshop because to be honest, apart from the breaking glass, this shot here was the one that gave me goosebumps.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh yeah, you did.
Glad to
Especially
hear
when
that.
you shared the BTS.
I have this one as well. It's Kim, she's called. I should have it. No, I thought I prepared it. Setups should be here. Diego. Yeah.
Guys, you're very lucky to see this because this is something that you can only see during the actual workshop or during a seminar. But here we have him online sharing with us his secrets.
Exactly.
Secrets.
So again, all the lines what you see on the model, on the reflections from the water, this is real.
Yep.
Okay, so all these lines here, they are shot. This photograph as well is out of camera. And so how you do it? So the general exposure is like it's a double blue filter indirectly. Okay, so this just gives a super diffused indirect light. And then with just a little bit less blue, I have a projecting attachment. So a very controlled light that only hits the water just in front of the model. Okay, and of course, because it's a very hard light, the water gives beautiful reflections on the model's skin. Just make sure that the light is not hitting her or him directly. And then a little bit of a backlight, and yeah, and that's it. So the backlight that's this here. The blue indirect light, that's the light you see here, and then the projecting attachment indirectly, that's of course the light you see here all over on the body.
Yep. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I remember that my team had such a hard time trying to figure out how to create those lines on her face without actually blowing the lights on her. So we didn't think about the reflection part. And that was our mistake. I remember that very, very clearly. And when you show it to us how you did it, and we were just like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it. So in a sense, when we attend your workshops, you actually make us think. And I really appreciate that because you don't just feed us, you don't just tell us this is how you do it, this is how you do it. You don't just give us the setups and then go try it. No, you actually even let us go like choose whatever light modifiers you want, choose whatever lights you have, and that is something I really appreciate because we go in with zero knowledge, and when we try it with our zero knowledge, it shows that we haven't learned anything. But only when we try and we actually push ourselves and you give a little bit of hints here and there, that's when we see the percentage go up to eventually about 80% to 90% of understanding what you did.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something really awesome. Okay, now speaking of workshops, of course you do have your online tutorials with Carl Taylor, and you run a lot of workshops, even online YouTube tutorials and things like that. Some are ticketed, some are freely available on YouTube. So for you guys who are actually tuning at home, if you guys are still under lockdown, do check out Broncolor's YouTube channel. He does have a lot of videos up with Carl, and they show a lot of setups that you can try out at home. And I think this is something that you can truly appreciate as well. I myself have attended some of the workshops and watched some of those videos and greatly benefited from them. But one question I will ask is this: how did you start wanting to teach others?
I mean, this has clearly to do with my job at Broncolor. Because in my eyes, we don't sell power packs, we don't sell lamps. If you just give me a box, I'm not interested in the box.
Yep.
I'm interested in what it does.
Yes.
Okay, so I have, on one side, I work very closely together with the R&D department. So I have to talk with our technicians on a scientific level. I can't tell them, oh, I would like to have the light a little bit more crispy, or what the hell are you talking about? I have to tell them the reflector should be more shiny, it should have a different texture, it should be deeper, it should be wider, blah, blah, blah. So I have to understand the light in a very scientific way.
Yeah.
And the same is with what you mentioned about the workshops. I don't want to say, okay, you just put the light here and then you get this result, and that's fantastic because I've done it.
Yeah.
Okay. What I do during workshops is I explain the tool of light.
Yes.
Okay, and that's the reason why I started this, because I have to explain how light works. I have to open photographers' eyes. What are the differences between high quality light and low quality light? If you don't know the difference, you're probably not ready to spend a little bit more. You know that Broncolor is not the cheapest light in the world, but it's the best, and we can only sell it when I can, let's say, convince and prove as well in a way that our light is the best, that it can be controlled like this. Okay, so this demands a deep understanding of light, and that's as well from the very beginning on, or after 2 years after I joined Broncolor, I started traveling the world talking about light.
And that's something that really perplexes me. One thing is, how do you keep on creating so much content? How do you generate all this content? Was it difficult to make the content?
It is difficult to make content, and when I go to the studio with a new idea, I never know if it works in the end or not. Okay, so maybe, hopefully, it's always a nice photograph. Okay, so maybe it's something we can use to decorate a website, for my portfolio, for my website, whatever. Second step would be a nice how-to. Okay, so which means I can make a drawing. This is how I've done it. That's the theory behind it. So this would be the next level. And the third level is if it becomes a workshop example. And that's because it must be something that can reproduced easily.
Yes.
Okay. Because what you said before, maybe when I do a seminar, I could probably all the how-to examples I can show as a seminar because I do it. Okay, so I know, because I've done it before, I can reproduce it because I understood more or less what I've done before. Okay, but if it's a workshop and I run 4 groups and I spend only 25% of the time with your group, I really have to be able, with just a little hints, oh, I think you're too close. Or you go further away and it already looks better. Okay, oh, go a little lower with the camera. Oh, okay, this helps. So it must be very clearly structured photograph,
Yes.
Okay, so these are for me the different levels, but I never know what is the end. And sometimes I think, oh, this is fantastic as a workshop, and then I gave it to a group during a workshop, and after 2 hours we are not yet there, and that's in a way frustrating. Okay.
Yes.
But okay, I tried once more, but if it's maybe the students were just so bad, so I give it another try. But if the second group again can't do it, then I forget it. Then maybe I do it myself. But let's say, for example, the pool, the girl in the pool thing, that's something that works 100%. Because it's really 3 lights. If the lights are there, if the pool is full with water, I need 5 minutes, okay, and I have the shot, okay, because it's so every light has one job to do, so it's very clearly understandable. It's a very transparent shot, and you get 90% of the quality in half an hour, and that's what I need.
And I think it's really testament to your experience being able to actually reproduce all these shots immediately from workshop to workshop. I mean, you've done so many workshops all over the world. I mean, could you just share with us which countries you've done your workshops in?
Oh, how much time do we have?
Plenty.
A lot. I mean, let's start geographically. In South America, I've done workshops in Brazil, Chile, Argentina. Yep. And then further north, Mexico, United States, Canada. Then all Western, I would say all Western Europe. Of course, France, England. I'm going most frequently. Denmark, Sweden, Finland, all the Scandinavian countries, so Italy. So let's say all Western Europe, maybe all the way to Czechoslovakia or Czechia right now.
Wow.
And then the next would be probably India, starting Asia, India, and then the rest, shoot Bangkok, shoot KL, Singapore, Jakarta. I've been a lot to, unfortunately, not too many times lately, all the way to Australia, New Zealand twice. Right now I'm visiting at least once a year, maybe twice a year, China. Maybe not this year because the motivation is a little bit reduced lately. I don't know why, but I hope that I can go back to China again maybe later this year. Japan, Taiwan, South Korea. What
Wow,
else is around? Yeah,
I think
Vietnam, not yet.
you
Vietnam, I'm waiting to for the first time to go to Vietnam. I would love to do.
Oh,
I've never
Vietnam.
been there, nor private, nor for business.
Yeah, Eugene from Broncos Singapore just said, "Oh, Vietnam, we need to bring him there." So I think
Yeah.
let's have a road trip there to Vietnam someday.
Would be great. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so with regards to running workshops, do you find any challenges at all?
Challenge. Work. Yes. Also, you mean workshops when I work with groups?
Yeah, when you're actually doing the workshop or even seminars, do you experience any difficulties or challenges?
Also, first of all, workshops are a logistic nightmare,
Oh yes.
equipment-wise. Okay, so this is the challenge number one, because if I have 4 groups, can you imagine I need like 8 power packs, I need 16 to 20 lamp heads or light shapers, I need 4 cameras, 4 computers, 8 lenses. So just from a logistical point of view, it's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
If everything is there, the most tricky part for me is adapt to the level of the groups, because I want them to have the feeling that they did the shot by themselves. So I have to figure out how much help do they need. Okay.
Yes.
If I leave them too much alone, they might be frustrated because I have no idea what I actually want, what they should do. And if I help them too much, either they are done after half an hour. Now he has done everything. I didn't learn anything. That's what he said before. So, especially when it's a several days workshop, it's very good for me because the first half day I need to know everyone. How much do they understand about light? How much can I let them just soak in the mess and try to get out of it by themselves? And how much do I have to pull them out of the mess that I created? So
Yes.
this is and as well, the first half day, they don't know the studio, they don't know where are the flags, they don't know where are the stands, they don't know how to change backgrounds. So this is for me like a crazy running around, helping with logistics and trying to figure out what do they have to know from me. And after this, the ice is melted, after the first half day, they hopefully have a good satisfying result. And from then on, most of the time it's working smooth. Yeah.
Yep. And I like the fact that even during seminars or workshops, you are very level-headed, you're very cool-headed. I've seen someone not being so nice on the seminar before, but you were still able to respond in kind and still teach, and that shows how professional you can be. And I really appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure that most of the students who attended your workshops previously are appreciative of your efforts as well. Being able to actually understand your students' needs, and I think more importantly, being able to help them understand what they don't. I think that's exactly, the important thing, the takeaway. All right. So Eugene said, Levin Nicholas says you should go to Indonesia to do a workshop there as well. I think we can talk to Prima soon about that. Tomo Itogo, Eugene says the workshop is only limited to 12 people, different from 4-hour seminars. Yes, I have to agree. I think the workshop is about 2 days back to back.
It depends. I had a 1-day workshop all the way to 4-day workshops. Everything is possible. They are very flexible.
Yeah, so the one I attended in Singapore was actually a 2-day workshop. I think it's from 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That was really wonderful. Yeah, so this is really what we call workshop, because right now in Singapore, I have to say this. This is my own personal observation. There are a lot of photographers running workshops, but there's no actual work being done. You just sit down there and listen and watch people do something, and I don't think there's any benefit per se, because there's no hands-on. But here you are for your workshop, it's really hands-on. You really get down and dirty. You face problems and you find solutions, and I think that's very important. Rather than you just telling me, okay, Mez, this is how you set up the lights, and then boom, just put everything here.
Exactly.
I wouldn't learn anything. Yeah, I'll just copy.
I have a nice story about this. I was invited to, I think it was Norway. I think it was Norway. I was invited there for a 1-day seminar and a 2-day workshop.
Yeah.
And it was quite at the beginning, maybe after a couple of years after I started, so I didn't have a never-ending portfolio of examples. So at the first day, I ran my seminar. I showed everything I know, very proud, And then at the end of the day, everyone came to me, shook hands, and said, okay, see you tomorrow. I said, oh, shit, okay. Tomorrow we do pretty much the same. I didn't know that you guys are coming back. And then the next day, well, I had a few new examples, but I said, okay, you remember the portrait I did yesterday? Shoot it again. You remember the eggplant I shot yesterday? Shoot it again. At first I said, that's boring because I've seen it already. But seeing it and said, yeah, it's clear. That's like assisting, you know what I said at the beginning. If you see somebody else doing it, I would have done the same. Easy, okay? But then all of a sudden you're there and it's nothing in front of your camera, and then all of a sudden problem starts, you know?
Yeah.
So they all came to me, oh, it looked so simple yesterday, but today on the workshop I really learned, you know?
Yeah.
So on the workshop, I think you cover less, maybe you cover less targets, you know, because if you have seen a seminar, a setup takes me 30 to 40 minutes, you know, so I can squeeze in 10 to 12 setups in one day.
Wow.
And in a workshop, you might do less, but at least they are 100%. You got them 100% because you made all the possible nonsense. You made it, you know. So, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't work. That's a solution, and this is burned in your brain, for the rest.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so having said you travel a lot because of workshops and even seminars or even for work, but let's say right now because of the pandemic, what has changed? I mean, definitely you can't travel anymore. Anything else has changed other than that?
It's just I haven't been to the city for 3 months now. You know, it's,
wow.
I live on the countryside. I live half an hour from the city.
Mm-hmm.
Normally on a Saturday like now, instead of chatting with Singapore, I would be in the city and drinking coffee. It didn't change my work too much, you know, because I'm at Broncolor. I'm the only photographer. Okay, so and my studio is big enough, you know, so I actually moved my office place. I moved it to the studio, but that's the biggest change. But work-wise, I've been working on the Broncolor projects. I've been working on new how-to ideas.
Yep.
I've done some of these live talks, like I'm doing with you now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is as well, let's say, in my own time because it's weekend. So it did definitely affect me much less than most of my colleagues, than most of freelance photographers, because most of my work I do as an employed photographer for Broncolor, and this is we didn't stop business, you know.
Yep.
Of course, it's difficult because the photographers might want to buy less because they want to wait until it's over, but I'm responsible for a lot of content, for producing helping to produce new products and so on and so on. So it didn't really affect. It did affect me, but much less than most of my colleagues.
Yep. So let's say, for example, the pandemic actually stretches out even longer than what is predicted. Because right now things are starting to look up. Some countries are starting to ease down on lockdowns, but there are also countries that have eased down on lockdown, but they decide to lock down again because there are surges in cases. So let's say if this persists, would you be doing any online workshops, which is some of the people are asking as well?
Yes, it's definitely an option.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment we actually worked on the studio to do this kind of online workshops. We even discussed it about doing it right now. But the problem is, if you do an online workshop, it's not like this situation because I'm alone here. Okay,
yep.
I turn on the laptop and we can talk. Okay,
yep.
But the workshop, you know, when we do the workshops, let's say with Carl Taylor, you know, he has 2 or 3 cameramen. He has somebody who's directing everything. So for this, my studio is just too small. Okay, it would have been illegal to do it. Very simple. Okay. Yeah. So if it continues like that, of course, we have to find different ways of communication. Mm-hmm. I really, really hope that it's that we don't have to go back to lockdowns after opening. Yep. It's right now in Switzerland. It's very exciting because about 3 weeks ago we started opening a little bit, and now the restaurants are open but with more space.
Yep.
But the people don't get it, you know, because we had huge reunions of more than 1,000 people on the lakeside, because now it's summer is coming. Well, not today, but the summer is coming, so people want to go out, and they are really gatherings of 1,000 people, and the police don't really know how to handle it, you know. because the numbers are low and everyone thinks, that's it, and it's over, and happy, and let's celebrate even more crazy. So it will be very, very difficult to go back to have more restrictions again. So I really hope that this is going to be normal, and that as well I can do the normal job of traveling and share my enthusiasm about light. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. We definitely want to have you in Vietnam, in Singapore, and Indonesia again.
I would love to come. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I think there are some questions on Facebook, I believe. Justin To says, I would love to have you back in Singapore again. Unfortunately missed the last one. I think, he's referring to the previous workshop. Alexander L. Element says, greetings from currently in Germany. I hope to get a chance to go to your workshops in Singapore or in Shanghai after the crazy times. I think there's a demand for your lessons again. I think it's really awesome to actually have you come back.
Very glad to hear, yes.
Yes. Even Zik is saying that looking forward to workshops in future in Singapore as well. And I think I think it's great that if you can actually travel again, because one, it's great to catch up with you again. We can take you out to eat good food again. But number two, of course, is to attend your workshops. All right. Okay, so now we have a little bit of time for some Q&A. If you guys are watching it right now, the live stream right now, you can actually post your questions in the chat boxes. We still have about 5 minutes left before we wrap up. Yes. Levin Nicholas says, do you have recommendation for books on lighting apart from your book on lighting architecture?
I would no. I think there are really a lot of bad books about lighting. You know, that they all start with wavelengths and nanometers, and if I know how many nanometers blue light has, doesn't really help me. You know, it doesn't make my photograph better. So I think it's once you have a certain level of photography, once you read one or two books, once you assisted a little bit, or you finished the school, the only thing that brings you further is try and error.
Yep.
Okay. So yes, it is good to go to school to feel secure from technical points of view, you know. But I meet people that come back to my workshops again and again and again. Oh, what should I attend? Which book should I read? Which workshop should I attend? Which videos should I download? No, go to the studio, shoot, make nonsense, try to understand why it doesn't work, make it better, understand why it works. So this is the best education.
Yes.
Try, fail, try it again, make it better until it's really exactly what you want.
Yep. And speaking of books, you do have a book that's published. Is there any way that the audience can actually attain a copy?
If you want a Spanish one, yes, the English ones are sold out.
Oh, wow.
And this was a lot of headache, this book. So I had 2 editions. So I decided not to go for a 3rd edition. I mean, it's even better for you guys because if you, for example, go to the Broncolor website, if you go there to the how-to section, this is more like an online book. Okay, so it's exactly the same idea behind it. It's the final result. It's the drawing of the setup, but most importantly, it's the text. So it's not, you want this picture, that's the setup, do it. It explains why I do it like that, why I take this softbox, why I put it that close, why I put it far away, why I angle it. So it's explaining the light.
Yes.
So if you still want to have my book in English, you can download it from the Broad website. If it doesn't work, contact me. I can send you the PDF, but it's actually downloadable on the Broad website. And just go there, look at the how-to videos, look at the how-to examples. It's just the latest material online.
And it's very, very comprehensive. There's a lot of teaching materials there. So if you guys are actually able to find time right now, you can actually head over to the Broncolor website, and these are all available for free for everyone to enjoy. I think it's really awesome to actually try out your own setups and all that. I mean, like what Urs said, if you don't go and try it, you wouldn't know. And there's no point not trying, right? The reason why you need to try is because to get it on.
This one setup, with this softbox angled, it's a one light setup, and it looks like nothing, okay? But the result, in my eyes, the result is great, but it's not simple. Okay, so
Yes.
you really, I show it quickly, and then okay, I do it again, and then you make the students do it, and what the hell is going on, you know? And there's so many things that can go wrong, but trying. That's what I do. That's what I do on a daily basis in my studio. I mean, you said before that it looks so simple when I do it during a seminar, but believe me, in a seminar I do only things that I've done before.
Yep.
Okay, there are still days when I say, oh, now this took me 3 hours. You know, normally when I do it afterwards in the seminar, it's like 20 minutes, but the 3 hours before, you haven't seen these. You know,
Yes.
and as I said at the beginning, I'm quite okay now with my level of understanding light. So it's the 3 hours days are less and less. Most of the time, I get there quite quickly.
Yep.
But there are still days where I think, holy shit, you know, this was really
Tough times.
This was not a direct way. This was round trips. But there you have to be just honest with yourself, and never stop until you have 100% of the result you want.
Yep. Okay, so Levin Nicholas says, yep, now Prima Imaging in Indonesia just have the PDF version. And Tometogo Eugene says, the best thing about digital now is that you can get it wrong and try it again. In the past, we had to wait for the film to be developed, so you can still try non-stop. Yeah. Yon asks, do you use natural light for portraits or stills?
Only when I have to. I'm a studio guy. I'm very happy in the studio. I know what I have to do. I know how it works.
Yep.
Maybe when I film, you know, I open the door to let in some more daylight if it's constant, you know, only if it's constant. But we discussed this before, you know, that the daylight is changing and makes me nervous. And I'm a flash man.
Yeah. More control, basically.
With this, it's like a third hand. I know what flash does.
Yep.
So for me, unless there is a creative reason to use daylight for movements or because I shoot in daylight environment, if I don't have to, I don't do it.
Awesome. Okay. So any advice to the audience? I mean, we are almost out of time. So maybe some parting words.
Yeah, I think we covered it a little bit before. I mean, don't be afraid of moving things. You know, there are no rules. Okay, if the picture looks good, that's it. Then it's a good photograph.
Yeah.
I see tons of portfolios. You know, portfolio reviews. I do, and I look through the pictures and I close the portfolio. I don't like it. Okay, and then the photographer asks me, but why? What did I do wrong? I said, you did nothing wrong. It's everything perfect, everything perfectly illuminated, everything is sharp, but I don't remember one single photograph. Okay, so don't rely too much on the technical aspects. You know, it's always there's a German word. Photography is Kunst, Handwerk. Kunst is art, and Handwerk is more like a science. Okay, but Kunst, art comes first. So first make sure that you see a beautiful photograph. Okay, and then in the second step, make it work technically. Okay, because now technique is so advanced with digital, you can analyze the shot, you can make it sharp, you can what Eugene just said, you can analyze if it's technically perfect.
Yep.
But even with the highest resolution, it can be still a boring, terrible photograph. Okay, a camera or a high resolution back doesn't make a photograph, it just records what's in front of the camera.
Yep.
So work with your heart, work with what's happening in front of the camera, create moods, create the picture you want, and then in the second step, try to record it in a proper technical way. Okay, and as well, light are our tools. Okay, but I treat them much more as toys. So play with the lights, okay, play with your things, you know, because then on Monday morning you go to the studio to play and you go to the studio to work with your tools and just move them around, open your eyes. What happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? Try to understand what happens. Try to develop your own style like this, but just shoot. That's my advice. Shoot.
Fantastic. All right, Urs, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful evening having a sharing session like this, and I understand that you're all the way from Switzerland, and I think it's about 5 hours or 6 hours behind us right now. I think it's almost lunchtime for
one in
you.
the afternoon now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about lunchtime for you already. So
I'm hungry now. Yeah, I missed lunch.
it's been a very, very wonderful sharing session, and I didn't expect you to share this much. I mean, I know you're always very enthusiastic about sharing anything to do with light, but to actually be very upfront and just go all out, even though it's I would say, candidly, it's a free sharing seminar. But you've been so awesome. You've been so awesome, and I think a lot of the audience at home actually benefit from these 2 hours, right?
It was really my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much for everyone to listen to us for almost 2 hours now. So it was my pleasure. Thanks a lot.
My wife said hi, by the way. She just popped in and say hi, Urs.
Hi back. Hi.
Yeah.
Can't see you. I'll look around the corner.
No, she's back to the kitchen now to cook because it's almost dinner time here. But next time we go over to Malaysia, let's have a fish curry again. And this time I promise we won't just have the head.
That's good.
Okay, Urs, I'm gonna put you on mute for a while. I'll just do the closing for the show. I'll chat with you in a bit later. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be here. Okay, bye-bye everyone.
Alright, see you guys. Give me a sec. Okay. Alright guys, that was Urs Recher all the way from Switzerland, brown color. It's been a wonderful session. I think he's really shared a lot of wonderful information in regards to lighting. And that's the thing about Urs. He is so passionate about light. And just to... I had the pleasure of working with him, attending his workshop, and actually listen to him talk. Even myself as a guest speaker alongside him during Shoot Bangkok and Shoot KL last year. It's always a pleasure to watch the master in action. I think he creates an art form when it comes to lighting. It's no longer just about technicalities. It's no longer just about getting the shots in and things like that. It's more about telling stories, creating moods. This is what photography should be all about. All right. So anyway, as always, if you guys want to show support for the channel, there's always Razer Tip Stream. Now, again, for those of you guys who actually want to show support for the channel, this is how you do it. You can actually use the QR code to scan with your camera phone, and just tip about 100 shots. 100 shots is about $1. It's very, very little, but it does, motivate me. You can even tip more if you want. But the most important thing is that as you tip, you will receive Razer Silver, which you can accumulate over time and use them to redeem epic Razer loot, such as keyboards, mice, headsets, even phone covers, shirts, bags, what have you in their silver catalog. Alright, so this is one of the ways that we hope that you can show your support for the channel and at the same time receive rewards for supporting the channel. Alright, so coming up next week, we're gonna have episode 28 on Saturday, 30th of May, 5 p.m. And this time I'm just gonna stream only on Twitch. Alright, I will not be streaming on Facebook anymore because I'm moving away from that platform. It's not because I hate Facebook. It's just that I want to have the maximum quality when it comes to streaming. I want to go at 1440p. What's my face doing here? Let me just move it away. Alright, we're gonna have a 1440p rather than Facebook where it's stuck at 720p. So this is how you can show support for the channel. Again, please hit follow. The button is somewhere over here. Yep, just hit follow if you're on Twitch. I really appreciate it if you can follow so you can be notified of the next time we come on the channel and go live. Alright, so do catch our Mumoya next Saturday at 5 p.m. Singapore time, 30th of May. We'll be streaming on Twitch. Alright, so this is where you can actually listen for the man himself. He's going to share something to do with how you can market yourself as a photographer better. Aomu is one of those guys that I really look up to because in the industry, he really is somebody who has gone through a lot and he can share his wealth of experience freely with you guys. And I think it's really awesome if you guys can tune in and watch what he has done. Alright, and the most important thing is that if you are not sure of who he is, you can check out his website here. Okay. And there we go. I just put it in the chat box for both Facebook and Twitch. Alright, so you can check out his work later on. But the more important thing is I would like to share with you guys again Urs Recher's website, so you guys can check out his print shop. Alright, so this is Urs' website again. Alright, do support his work. I think he has come a long way with his website. It was just a catalog of portfolios and now he has a print shop. Do show some support. just to let you guys know, I myself would probably be looking through this catalog later, but I already have an idea which one I want to get later on because I really love his work. I like to have a print. Yeah, so just head over to his print shop, and right now we are quite lucky. He's actually doing free shipping worldwide. All right, so this is really awesome. Okay, so again, if you guys want to, you can always tip through the Recher tip stream. All right, otherwise you can just hit the follow button. Okay, you can see the top right hand, there's an arrow, follow, subscribe. Okay, you can subscribe as well. You can get added benefits on Twitch. But otherwise, I'll see you guys on next Saturday. Oh, and sorry, I forgot about the closing. Alright, so this is one more thing. Today we actually talk a lot about Brown Color. So if you guys are interested, you can actually check out Brown Color Singapore's website. Really sorry about this. I completely forgot. I missed the tab. This is Brown Color's website. They do sell Capture One Pro on sale now. It's going for a lot cheaper than online, right? Going for $380 as opposed to, you know, the usual price, which is about $450 if you convert from USD to SGD. So do check out browncolor.com.sg if you guys are interested to look at some of the lights that they have as well. Some of the lights that, you know, Earth was talking about, including the light shapers which work with Brown Color lights. Yep, this is where you can take a look at them. In fact, Earth's, your softbox is here. This is your favorite one, 60 by 100. Okay, so do take a look at that as well. And here's another shout out to the PPAS, the Professional Photographers Association of Singapore. As always, I always share with people that this is the place to go if you are interested in starting a business in photography. So if you guys want to, during this period of time, just explore the website and figure out how you can join the company of other associate members in the PPAS. And especially if you want to start a business in photography, you know, hopefully after the COVID-19 nonsense is over, you can actually head over to this website and use something that you will benefit from and figure out how to start your own business in photography. All right. Now, and with that, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Please remember, I am no longer streaming on Friday. I'm only streaming on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So next Tuesday is going to be a very casual session. In fact, I'm still deciding whether I want to stream because it's just after the holidays, and maybe I could go for a break. But maybe if not, I'll just do a retouching session with Capture One because Capture One is still fresh. It's something new. There's a new update, and we have the new cloning and healing tool. So I still really want to explore that with you guys. Maybe we'll have that instead. But next Saturday we're gonna have our Mumoya. All right. So with that, I'm gonna wrap up the show for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sorry, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Do take care of yourself. For our Muslim viewers, Selamat Hari Raya. Tomorrow is the big day. For our viewers who are not celebrating Hari Raya, tomorrow is, well, it doesn't make much of a difference, does it? It's a public holiday, but we are all still stuck at home because of lockdown. So just stay safe, take care of yourself. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. All right, bye bye.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation.
On 3, 1, 2.